Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of SAT Sports. We are your hosts for this evening. Of course, I'm Marcus, and my co-host Freddy. How we doing tonight?
Yo, what's going on, man?
A lot of good and a
A lot of
lot of
bad.
bad. Yeah, definitely a lot of bad. But we got another exciting week for you. I'm looking forward to another week of recaps and predictions, like a couple of topics we can talk about. So let's see where we want to start this week. Should we start with the NFL, college football, or other?
Let's start with other.
We'll go back to other this week. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll start with other. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. I want to give a big congratulations to my soccer club, the Houston Dynamo, winning the Open Cup last week against Miami. Uh, I know their playoffs is fixing to start. I'm not very fonded with the MLS. I don't really know how they run shit, but last I checked, the Dynamo are the fifth seed in the West. I don't know if it's the top five or top six to get in, but I figured the fact since they won the Open Cup against Miami, they should be able to make the playoffs. I don't keep up with MLS that well. I figured Dylan might know more about it than me.
Yeah, I saw your boy James Harden was at the game.
Yeah, isn't he? Yeah. Well,
Is he
there's
like an
another.
owner, right?
He's like a
part
partial owner. Yeah, like a
Partial
partial
owner,
owner. Yeah. So I don't know if it's okay. So what I'm reading here, they says the top 7 qualify for the MLS Cup playoffs, and 8 and 9 seeds qualify for a wild card. So looking at the conference standings in the West, we're at 5. So if we keep this up, we should make the playoffs. And we have 3 games left this month. The Dynamo have 3 games left. The next game is actually tomorrow. They are on the road against Montreal. Then they have another one on Saturday, October 7th. They host Colorado, and then they close out the regular season on October 21st against the Portland Timbers in Portland. So it'd probably be like late October, early November they start the playoffs. So I thought they were about to start it already, like baseball. But yeah, so like right now the top 7 in the West, you got Real St. Louis, Real Salt Lake, the Seattle Sounders, LAFC, the Houston Dynamo, the Vancouver Whitecaps, and the Portland Timbers. The top 7
no
in the
Orlando
West.
City, no Miami.
Well, that's the East. This was just the West.
Okay, just the West.
East,
Okay.
yeah, and 8th seed is San Jose, the Quakers, and the 9th seed is FC Dallas. That'd be the wild card for the West. In the East, the top 7 is Cincinnati, Orlando, the New England Revolution, Philadelphia, Columbus, Atlanta, and Nashville. And then the wild card would be NYC and Montreal.
Yeah. Miami's not cutting it. Maybe next year.
I know some of these teams have like mascots, but some might be called like FC or Real or United, something like that. Like they all got like weird names. But that's what the standings are looking like in the MLS. I mean, so if you're an Orlando fan, you guys got a hot chance of winning an MLS Cup.
City's been doing good. I know a lot of people that go to the game. I got a lot of friends that have season tickets, which they're really cheap. Apparently they're doing really good. I've only been to 2 games since they became an actual MLS team, but a lot of fan support for the city. A lot more fan support than for the Magic. A lot of people support the city. Other than a lot of people don't support the Magic out here, so they're kind of like the go-to team is the city.
I've been to only one game my whole life. Well, they don't even call them games. It's soccer matches. They don't say game day. They say match day. And I went to my very first soccer game in my entire life, Mother's Day weekend. Me and Dylan and Jordan, we went watch both our teams play each other. I'm a Dynamo fan, and they hopped on being soccer fans, and they picked a team, and they both decided to be Sounders fans. And we went to the Dynamo Sounders matchup Mother's Day weekend. It was the Saturday, and the Dynamo lost, which is kind of a tradition with me. If I go watch one of my teams for the very first time, they usually lose. Ask the Astros, ask the Saints, ask the Pelicans. Now you can ask the Dynamo too, but they lost 1-0. But it was a fun experience. I mean, soccer
It's a good
games
time there.
Soccer games can be fun. They are very passionate. What's the deal with scarves at soccer games? That's like a ritual thing, even in like the Premier League.
It's a overseas thing. It's a Euro thing.
Yeah, because like I've definitely seen it when I watch like Premier League matchups. Like I like Manchester United. Dylan likes Arsenal, which Arsenal is they beat us like 1 or 2 occasions. I don't really watch any other league. Like I think he watches like an Australian league or an African league or something, but no, it's just
my cousin's a big soccer fan. He's a big United guy.
No, I just rep Houston Dynamo, Manchester United, and USA. Like I like when the countries go to war in soccer, especially for like CONCACAF or FIFA, even the Olympics too. Like those are fun to watch. And I'm pretty sure that'd be a hell of a good time to go see one of those in person.
Yeah, they always have friendlies out here in Orlando at Camping World, or even at where the city play.
Yeah. So let's go to, speaking of playoffs, we are already officially in the postseason for Major League Baseball. Wild card starts tonight. There's 4
started already.
2 best out of 3. There's only 4 can advance to the divisional series, and right now, no, the Astros kind of got lucky. I'll say the Astros got lucky. We were on a verge where we could have been a wild card team. They had this like planned out, like comparing it with the Astros, the Mariners, the Rangers, and even the Toronto Blue Jays for like the 3 wild card spots and potentially one team getting eliminated, so forth. The thing that saved us the most was we swept the Diamondbacks.
Yes, we were talking about that last week.
Because we were at a point where if we'd have lost that last game, at least lost the last game, and the Rangers beat the Mariners, Rangers would have won the division, won the West, AL West, and we'd have took the wild card spot. Because all Seattle had to do was lose 1 time to get eliminated, and the Rangers beat them 1-0.
Right.
But if they'd have won their game and we would have lost, we would have got knocked out, been eliminated, and the Rangers would have took the wild card and Seattle would have took the division. But somehow we got lucky. Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm watching wrestling right now, and Ilya Dragunov slipped off the middle rope, trying to pose with his belt. I know we're talking sports, but I'm watching NXT right now.
I think I'm a little delayed because I'm on the stream. Hold on. Oh, yeah, he did.
He slipped. But we kind of had help. Like, I did not expect us to get the bye. Like, I expected them to go, like, in the wild card and probably get upset, knocked out of the first round. Well, now the whole mood changed. Everyone is, like, riding on Houston to make 3 consecutive World Series appearances and try and go back-to-back for the first time since the New York Yankees, like, in the early 2000s. Yeah. So we don't play till Saturday. We're going to play the winner out of the Blue Jays and the Twins. I'm trying to get up.
Twins won today, 3-1.
Oh, so they had some games early today.
Yeah, that's some games. Rangers beat the Rays. That was the first game. Blue Jays, Twins. Twins won 3-1. Diamondbacks and Brewers are tied at 3-3. Marlins and Phillies are 0-0, top of the second.
Well, give me a prediction, like who wins these series and moves on to play this team. So you got the Diamondbacks and the Brewers. The winner of that game will have to play the Dodgers in the NLDS.
I think the Brewers win that.
The Brewers win it in what, 2 or 3?
Probably 2.
A sweep, okay. I could see this one going 3, so I'm gonna go with the Brewers in 3. Then you got the Marlins and the Phillies. The winner of that will have to play the Braves. Right now it's 0-0.
Phillies, but the Marlins have been playing really good. I mean, Philly is the better team. I'll just go Phillies in 3. I think the Marlins will put up a fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Marlins did win.
I'm gonna go with the Marlins in 3. Like,
okay,
because I don't know. Some tell me with Philly lately. I mean, they could pull it off. I don't see a sweep. I don't see a sweep in that one. Like this one, I'm actually shocked. Rangers won game 1. I actually had the Rays sweeping the Rangers to go play the Baltimore Orioles in this one, but I'm gonna say the Rays in 3 now.
I want to say something before I pick this game. Watching this game earlier at work, this was the the lowest attendance crowd since 1919 for a playoff game.
They don't give
19, I believe it was. I saw it earlier today, but it was the lowest attended game in Tampa for a playoff game, and they're trying to build a new stadium in St. Pete, and people don't even show up.
What's going to happen if this team were to like play for the pennant or even the World Series? And you're going to have fans show up?
People do. The reason why is because St. Pete from Tampa is like an hour drive.
Wow.
Something like that. Maybe like 45 minutes, depending on traffic. People from Tampa don't drive to St. Pete unless they go to the beach. They're not going to St. Pete to go see the Tampa Bay Rays.
Sounds like a bunch of bandwagoners.
Yeah. It's just not happening.
If that's the case, I mean, that would kind of help us if we were to cross paths with them. Because remember, the winner of that game's got to play the Orioles. So either way, whoever ends up playing Baltimore, their season's over with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have loved if they would have been on our side of the bracket. I would have picked the Rangers in a heartbeat, just so we can eliminate our older brother who never could win a World Series. Which I think the Rangers is the older team than the Astros. I think they're the.
So it says team. Embarrassment. Rays fans break 104-year attendance record low. Only 19,000 fans showed up to the game on Tuesday.
That's horrible. Anyhow, last game, the winner of this series plays the Astros. I picked the Blue Jays. The fact that the Twins won the first game, I'm going to just say the Blue Jays in 3 because I want to see George Springer play his former team. And we unfortunately eliminate him from the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in 3.
You believe the average attendance at Tampa Bay Rays games are 13,927.
How much you think they're going to be when the Royal Rumble gets there? About 30,000, 40,000?
Depending on setup, depending what type of stage they use. If they use a minimal stage, like they've kind of been doing with the long ramp, but really small setup, you could probably fit 40, 45, maybe, I'm assuming.
They'll probably do what they did the last time they were at a ballpark. They're going to set up like in the dugout.
I would assume, yeah.
Because last year they were in a football stadium and they did the corner entrant. They didn't. And the year before that they were in a football stadium again, but they did it weird. Like they curtained off half the stadium when they were in St. Louis.
I would think they could get 45 there. I'm assuming at the baseball stadium.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens there. Which already made those there. When we get to the divisional series and everything, we'll predict those next week because I think that is a best of 5. Because I know they said the Astros, the fact that they're not in the wild card, they have to win 11 games to go back to back instead of 13. So
right,
I figured the pennant in the World Series is Game 7. That's 8 games you got to win, and then the divisional series is best of 5. That's 3 you have to win. So that's 11 games right there.
Yeah.
All right, so you brought this up, and I'm like, well, you know what? We haven't really did a lot of basketball talk except talking about the Christmas games, but, NBA season's fixing to kick off. The real season's fixing to tip off in a few weeks. I guess they've been doing preseason lately, but let's talk about some of these big NBA trades. The biggest one they've been talking about was Damian Lillard finally leaving the Trailblazers. Now he's going to play with the Greek Freak and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep. We actually spoke about that as soon as we were going off the air last week. I said, don't be surprised if Damian Lillard gets traded by the weekend, and he did. He got traded to the Bucks it was a 3-team trade between the Bucks, Blazers, and Phoenix. So that lands Damian Lillard with the Greek Freak.
What do you think was the biggest trade so far recently? Damian Lillard going to the Bucks or Chris Paul going to Golden State?
Damian Lillard to the Bucks, because CP3 was traded to Washington, and then Washington then flipped him to the Warriors.
Well, and then let's see, like Drew Holiday's now with the Celtics, Patty Mills to the Rockets.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton went to Phoenix. Drew Holiday to the Celtics was, I don't know if you noticed this, but the Blazers got more for Drew Holiday than they did for trading Damian Lillard to the Bucks.
I remember another one. I remember was Joe Harris going to the Pistons. It's another one. Pistons also got Monty Morris. Suns ended up getting like Bradley Beal, Jordan Godwin, and Isaiah Todd. Where the Wizards got Chris Paul, Landry Shaman, and Bible Calablay, and a couple of like picks like in 2024 and 25 and whatnot.
Right.
That's just new.
I don't see Chris Paul being on the Warriors all season.
It's just ring chasing.
I think they end up trading him by the trade deadline.
I'll give him 1 year, but here's my thing: if you don't win a championship with Golden State, you might as well just retire. Because no matter where you go, you just come up short. Yeah, you were this close with the Phoenix Suns, which I hate the Phoenix Suns ever since the series with the Pelicans a couple of years ago. Like how they fucked us in that game. I think it was game 6 we got eliminated, and we had the fucking game right there, and it was bullshit calls, and then their fans are freaking biased. Thought they were gonna sweep us, but yeah, like I don't like their fan base. Like so, and then whenever they played in the finals, I was definitely rooting the Milwaukee Bucks, and I was so happy that Milwaukee got a championship, and I was shit talking the Phoenix Suns.
They'll probably get another championship this year. It should be them in Boston in the East, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed last year's final. The Denver Nuggets winning their first NBA championship. They beat the Boston. It was the Boston Celtics, right?
No, they beat the Miami Heat.
Oh, the Miami Heat. Well, Boston played the year before. Boston lost.
Boston was there the year before against Golden State, yes.
And Golden State won, yeah. Steph Curry won his, third or fourth championship?
I believe it's 4. Is it 4? I believe it's 4.
Yeah, it's like fourth.
Yeah, 4. Yep, 4.
Which I'm a Steph. I don't like Golden State, but I'm a Steph Curry fan. I like Steph Curry. I believe he's one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. But it's like because I used to be a big Kevin Durant fan, but when Kevin Durant left to go to Golden State, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you that desperate?
Kevin Durant went to the Celtics. Oh, Kevin Durant, I'm sorry. I think I don't know why I thought Kevin
You're thinking of Kevin Garnett. I love Kevin. No, I love Kevin Garnett too. Like the three back, him and Paul Pierce.
KD jumping ship like that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, but Kevin Durant, like that kind of pissed me off because like I once was like a Thunder fan and I loved him, like what he did with OKC, which they got fucked in that series a long time ago. They should have won that NBA championship, but they had to give LeBron back-to-back NBA titles and whatnot. But it is what it is. Because they felt so not back-to-back. That was his first. But like he had
KD won his first, and then he won back-to-back with Golden State. And then the third year he caught the Achilles.
Well, he had like multiple consecutive appearances. I'm talking about like in 2011 when they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Like then the following year he won his first. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when he was with Miami, I remember when Dirk Nowitzki
they beat the
won,
Thunder.
Yeah, and I was pissed. I was an OKC fan because of Kevin Durant, and they lost in 5 games. And then he ended up winning again the following year, again beating San Antonio. I was rooting for the Spurs hot, even though I don't like the Spurs. Because I was like anybody but fucking LeBron James. I was rooting for Tim Duncan because I knew he wasn't going to have many years left to go, and same thing with Greg Popovich. But I was like, Spurs got beat in 2013, and then the following year they beat Miami in 2014, and that was their last championship they ever won.
Yep, that was the last year. Then LeBron jumped ship and he went to Cleveland.
Went back to Cleveland and lost tried to get him a championship the first time, didn't happen, and then finally got Cleveland that championship in 2016. Pistons.
They went to 3, right? They went to 3 championships.
He went to like 4 with Cleveland.
No, with Cleveland, I thought 3 with Cleveland. Oh no, okay, the first run with Cleveland, yes,
they
got
did
beat by the Spurs. They came back and they went to 3.
They did 4 in a row with Golden State and Cleveland, or 3. No. 3 or 4 in a row.
Cleveland did 3. The first year they lost. Second year they won. Third year they
lost in 5. Yeah. 2017, they lost in 5 games because I went to Monday Night Raw the night they won. 2018, they got swept in 4 games.
Right.
He got swept in the finals by Golden State again. And then in 2019, that's when Toronto won.
So maybe KD only. But KD has 2 rings with Golden State, no?
KD has 2 rings. He went to Brooklyn after he won the second one. He went to Brooklyn like in 2018 or 19.
So Cleveland and Golden State played 4 against each other.
They played like 3 or 4 in a row, and one of the years they played, they got swept. It was 2018. LeBron got swept in the finals.
Cleveland, yeah, because of the injuries.
Yes.
That they had. He was injured. No, he wasn't injured. All his supporting, Kevin Love was injured. Kyrie was hurt. Yeah.
Now, Golden State, it was Golden State that Toronto beat in the 2019 finals, was it, or was it another team?
Yes, that was them. Clay had got the ACL injury, and then Durant had the Achilles.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah, because I remember because Toronto won their first in 6 games, and then of course the fucking bubble where that was so. I'm gonna say this right now. I've been saying it for 3 years. The only reason the Lakers won that championship was because of Kobe's death. Because before the pandemic, they were one of the worst teams in the West. And then with the pandemic, and then they changed the season up. They did a bubble season. They shifted shit around. And then all of a sudden, the Lakers were just fucking winning games. And then they won like that.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Denver had injuries at that time. They lost Jamal Murray. The Clippers imploded. And the Heat went on a run. That was their first kind of like
why the
hell are they in the finals?
That bubble was so fucking rigged. I'm sorry. They only won that title because of Kobe's death. Jimmy Butler got fucked in that series. Like Miami should have won that damn. Miami was the best team in the league in 2020. Like they got fucked and lost in the bubble. And then the following year, that's when Giannis got his championship. They beat the Boston Celtics. No, they beat the Phoenix Suns. In 2022, Celtics lost to Golden State, and then recently the Nuggets. The Nuggets
beat the Heat in 5.
Which I felt bad for Jimmy Butler, but I was picking Joe Key. I was picking the Joker.
Yeah, nobody was going to beat Denver last year in the finals.
No, I don't even really see them. I haven't even read to see who's going to be like the top team. No one's really talking about it. Like I have to wait and see how that comes when tip-off comes.
Right. Couple of weeks.
Yeah, I need to pull the schedule up, see like what some of them primetime games are and whatnot, see who the Pels got. Probably
Halloween
not
weekend,
opening.
I'm assuming it kicks off.
I thought it was like the middle of October or something.
It could be. Let me see.
Good. Hang on. I screenshotted the Pelicans 2023 schedule. And this one, the Pelicans open up on October 25th is their first game. They're on the road against the Grizzlies. So like late October is when the season tips off. So I'm gonna go to Tuesday, October 24th. So yeah, NBA tip off is October 24th. Lakers Nuggets. Okay. Lakers Nuggets at 6:30 and Suns Warriors at 9 p.m.
Yep. And then the 25th, Magic Houston.
Everyone's playing the 25th.
Everyone's playing, yeah. Boston Knicks. I'm just looking at the key games. Boston Knicks would be a good one.
Yeah, that's on ESPN. Mavericks Spurs at 8:30 on ESPN.
Mavericks Spurs, and then Blazers Clippers. Really only 2 games.
Yeah, but they always do that thing like on Wednesdays and Fridays they're on ESPN. Tuesdays and Thursdays are on TNT.
TNT. And then Sundays is ABC.
Sundays are ABC. Wednesday on TNT is hockey.
Right.
I know that because that's when every time Dynamite went.
They have hockey games on USA now too.
Yep, they do too. But it's like every time when Dynamite was on TNT, every time it closed out around the fall or the winter, you'd see a hockey game on your screen.
Assuming Dynamite. I know we're talking wrestling, but apparently Dynamite's preempted next week to Tuesday. I believe because of the playoffs. Is that why?
Or they're going to have a late start time.
They have playoff games on TNT?
No, Dynamite's on TBS now.
Okay. All right. So there it is. Yeah. So, yeah.
Maybe on Friday. Maybe
playoff game on Wednesday.
Maybe on Fridays because they used to do like Rampage tapings on Saturdays, but now you got Collision on TNT, so it could ruin that up.
Got you.
So we'll go. That's all I got for the other category. I mean, everything else is basically on the football side. We'll go straight to the NFL. I have something I want to get talked out real quick, and then I got to hand it off to you for a topic. Let's talk about probably the biggest elephant in the room, the biggest attraction for the NFL. So, it's October. So, around this time, they're going to be playing international games, mainly in London. Unfortunately, no games in Mexico this season, but they're going to play 2 games in Germany. They're doing 3 consecutive weeks in London because the Jags just played the Falcons in London. They're playing another week as the visiting team against the Buffalo Bills coming up. We'll predict later. But they've been advertising it in a different way, like to try and get a younger audience to become football fans. They did what was called the game in Andy's room, or the Toy Story game, where they renip-the-size everything you saw live in the CGI formation in Andy's room as toys. And you got the Toy Story characters around, like Slinky was the damn chains. You had one of the aliens as a droid cam. You had Duke Kaboom as your halftime show.
They had the claw putting the ball on the field, spotting the ball.
Like, here's my question. Were you a Toy Story guy or fan as a kid?
Toy Story is my favorite Disney film.
Well, which one was your favorite movie? There's been 4 films, but
Toy Story 1.
The OG, okay.
Toy Story 1 and 1 and 2.
I've said this on Tino's time on his live. We live streamed the game together, invited me, and I talked with him the whole game and watched the game, did a little play calling and talked Toy Story. But I think I've watched Toy Stories 1 and 3 more times than any other of the other 4 films. Toy Story 4, which I do like, but it's like Toy Story 2 is one of the most less interesting ones ever. I've watched it a few times, but it's like, I felt like if they focused more on Buzz Lightyear, it'd have been a lot better because you had Zurg in the movie, but they focused more on Woody. But I really love the first one, of course. I've watched it countless times, but it's like Toy Story 3 I may have watched more than anything. I love that plot where Andy's all grown up. He's going to college, and they send these toys to daycare, and they got a freaking enemy and a strawberry-smelling teddy bear.
The teddy bear.
Some of the cast members, like they put Michael Keaton as Ken in Toy Story 4. Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key as the rabbit, and then the other comedian as the Ducky. Jordan Reed played Ducky. So I love how the people they picked for this cast, but I just love the formation they made with playing the game, like watching the game like in Toy Story format. It was unbelievable.
It was good. I put it on for a little bit. On was it on ESPN Plus? ESPN Plus. It was a little bit of a lag. It wasn't up to the it wasn't step for step. But it was good. It was the mannerisms and everything was on point. It was pretty good. I thought it was very well done. It kind of looked like maybe old school PS2, PS3 graphics a little bit when you're watching it, but I'm okay with it.
It was very good. They were not on point. They were probably 2 plays behind on live TV.
A little bit.
I had both set up because I put the live game on my television and I had the game in Andy's room on the PC right here. And like I'm watching back and forth, and I had my camera plugged in my laptop where I can look at Tino and talk from there, and I just had it in a weird angle. Especially if you've seen that I did some watch-alongs over the weekend with the Fanatics Network. That's how I had my shit set up.
Yeah, I was watching that, yeah.
That's how I had my shit set up because I was watching No Mercy on the PC while I was watching football on the big screen, and I did the same thing with AEW's Wrestle Dream. I had the Chiefs-Jets game on the big screen, and I had AEW on the PC. So that's how I was watching all that, but yeah, it was a great experience. I'd rather this than the Nickelodeon shit they did in 2020.
It would be cool if they had something like that on Nickelodeon. Maybe they take, I don't know, maybe they use it and try to do something like that. But like I said, it was really, I saw they were posting the whole week, like NFL Toy Story characters doing like NFL catches. I was like, what is this about? I didn't know that they were going to do an actual game about like a one-of-one until I saw it. I think Saturday. I was like, oh shit, they're really gonna do that. So when I woke up at 9 a.m. to watch the game, and I watched it for probably about 45 minutes, the Toy Story. Then I was like, let me go ahead and switch over because I saw that it was like you said, it was about two plays behind.
I love both. I watched both games as a whole. I loved like even during like commercial breaks, they were doing Toy Story trivia and football trivia for the
Yeah.
kids. I really enjoyed that. I mean, what Nickelodeon did, I mean, yeah, I didn't like the whole slime shooting everywhere when they scored. SpongeBob's face on the field goal net and shit. What's up, Dylan? Like, I think they need to do it again. Like, do it for a Christmas Day game, and if you can try, maybe do it for the Super Bowl, like Nickelodeon has done 2 years in a row.
Right. Maybe not do it in Andy's room. Maybe trying to figure out another
Pizza
maybe
Planet.
maybe you do it. Maybe you do a replica field, like with other Disney characters watching, cheering on and shit like that.
It was unique and I loved it. I mean, they're not going to do that next week with the Jags and the Bills. They just gonna have to watch it normally. Maybe and I was shocked that it was not on the NFL Network or something. I had to turn on my Xbox to watch the live game. Usually those London games are like on the NFL Network at 8:30
Yeah, they
in the
use it on
morning.
NFL Network, but I guess ESPN Plus has priority over them now. What it seems like.
Yeah, the whole Disney Plus fucking trio with Hulu and shit. So yeah, I figured that's why. But that was very fun. I hope they do it again. But I'm going to hand this next topic off to you because this was kind of a last-minute topic we had, and I've been seeing advertisements about the whole gambling policy with the NFL and the NLPA and shit.
Yes, sir. Over the weekend, actually before Sunday, NFL came down with new gambling rules for suspensions with players who bet on non-football. Non-football. It's not about their teams. So what it looks like here, first violation. I'm on ESPN here.
Is it like 3 months or 6 months?
Yeah,
or 3 game or 6 game?
2 game suspension for first violation, 6 games for second, and 1 year for the third. Okay. And this is for betting on non-football related games. And if you do bet on your team game, I believe it's a year.
Yeah. So wow, they can't even like go to like Vegas together and be like, oh, I want to bet on LeBron James tonight.
Yeah. So everybody who was suspended during the offseason for betting were all reinstated as of Saturday, Sunday.
It kind of sounds lame, but I mean, the NFL does have strict policies. I mean, I get it. And I'm not the type that likes to gamble. I have the worst luck with gambling, especially with FanDuel. I fucking hate using it these days because I always lose. But, I mean, I guess they need to give the same treatment to, like, the NBA players who, you know, I mean, them motherfuckers gamble, but they don't really get in trouble.
I don't know if the NBA has a gambling policy. I would have to look that up. I know baseball does. I know football does. I would assume NBA does also. And maybe just on their games on NBA in general. I don't know if it's outside.
I'm no telling. Well, one more. We're going to close out the NFL in another great, don't want to say great way because it was not a good week for you and I. I don't know who got the shit into the stick this week, but we took back-to-back losses. We lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-9. I didn't even want to write anything down. That's how bad it was. We only had 3 field goals. Not one touchdown was scored in that game for our side. And then Tampa Bay it was a sloppy game at the start, and then just towards the end, they just played like a whole different team. And now we're sitting at 2-2 before our teams go at it with each other this weekend. So,
right? How crazy is that?
I was already highly disappointed in LSU's performance, which we'll get to later. But that's all I got to say on the Saints was a shitty fucking performance. With
I watched that game because I do have the NFL ticket on YouTube, so I was watching that game. Don't know why the Saints threw Derek Carr out there. He looked hurt. He couldn't throw a ball downfield. And if you notice, Alvin Kamara had 14 receptions. He was using a lot of the checkdowns. So he used a lot of Kamara for those short passes. So he didn't look healthy. And the offense struggled. They booed him. It was crazy. They booed him at halftime. I was like, not a good start for a new quarterback there.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, what made it even worse was this was Kamara's first game back after the whole suspension, 3-game suspension, and I figured he'd have been on fire. No, he was not. He had a horrible performance.
Yeah, and he's already doing interviews saying he doesn't like losing. Like, he's just one game in. You just came back.
Yeah. You first lost back on the back as an active member on the roster, but you actually lost 2 games, but even though while you were suspended. It was that horrible. But now the Patriots too, the Patriots, they fall to the Cowboys. I didn't think it was going to be like this. Everyone kept telling me, watch the Patriots upset the Cowboys. It's coming. What happened? They just y'all pulled the Saints. Y'all only kicked field goal.
I didn't pick if you noticed last week, I didn't pick the Patriots. I picked Dallas to win. I think we both did.
I definitely picked Dallas.
The game was a mess. Mac Jones looks lost. The offense is terrible. Juju Smith-Schuster can't separate from a defensive lineman. He can't do anything. We lost 2 of our best players. Matthew Judon's out for the year. He's having a ligament tear in his arm. He's having surgery. He's going to be out for the year. Christian Gonzalez, torn labrum. He might be out for the year.
Wow.
So, I mean, if our season wasn't done already, it's done now.
Yeah. That's crazy. But real quick, what team surprised you this week? What were like your top 3 teams that surprised you this week?
All right, so top 3 teams that surprised me this week, who continue to surprise me, is the Texans.
Yep.
That's my number 1 team. They continue to win and continue to win convincingly. Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Putting up 40 on the Dolphins and only holding the Dolphins to 20. That was major. And I will go with my next surprising team, even though they lost. In a loss, the Jets.
Okay.
I think the Jets holding Mahomes to 23 points and only losing by 3. I think the Jets played well. Wilson played better. But in a loss, I would put them at 3. I think they were I think everybody thought, even me and you thought, the Chiefs would put up 40, 45 on the Jets. We thought they were completely done, but they played well. I got to give them credit where credit's due. He didn't look like the same quarterback last week. He looked pretty good. So that would be my 3rd team.
So I'm going to put the Texans number 1 as the top team because CJ Stroud's just doing fantastic. They're getting a little better. So number 2, I'm going to put one team that got their first win of the season. I'm going to put the Minnesota Vikings, even though the Panthers are just that terrible, but that was a back and forth game. The 3rd team I'm going to put is the Seahawks.
Okay, Seahawks against the Giants, and the Giants were abysmal.
Yeah, which but the Giants to me were not the worst team this week. The worst team this week for me was once again the Chicago Bears. They had that game in the bag and they blew it over the Denver Broncos, letting them get their first win of the season.
That was a tough loss. 28 unanswered points. That was a tough loss. I think the worst team for me, I'm going to go with my Patriots. But even though the Patriots played the worst, the Giants outdid them last night. So everybody's talking about the Giants now instead of the Patriots. So listen, if your favorite team, NFL team, is last name quarterback with Jones, raise your hand. We suck. That goes for the Giants and the Patriots. So they're both terrible with a quarterback last name Jones.
My toilet bowl game of the week was the Broncos and the Bears, but my game of the week, I'm going to give it to the Eagles and the Commanders.
Toilet bowl game of the week for me. I'm going to go Raiders Chargers. And the best game of the week, there was 2. Rams and Colts was actually really good. Way more entertaining than it should have been. And I'm going to probably go Vikings, Panthers. I think you muted me.
I muted. There we go.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize. How did I mute myself? I was going to log off. No, what I was trying to. So what? Oh, I don't know. I'm in a daze here. I'm trying to lower this screen and pop up Google Sheets. But so how we're gonna do this week is I have a new category that we're gonna throw in with toilet bowl of the week and potential game of the week. while we make predictions, we're gonna have. I see a lot of other shows do this, so we're gonna tag along. We're gonna have a lock-in of the week.
Okay, sounds good.
Like if there's one team you believe is gonna win so bad, you say that's my lock-in of the week. Is this
All
team
right.
over so and so?
Let me go to week 5.
Yeah, we're already in week 5.
Yep.
We still got a lot more weeks of the NFL to go.
Yes, we do.
So Thursday night football, we get Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. Oh, goddamn, I can't even remember the quarterback's name for Washington.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Okay, so yeah. Justin Fields versus Sam Howell. Bears, Commanders, Thursday night football.
Commanders are going to win.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, the Bears. Bears. I guess they want Caleb Williams that bad. I mean, they want that number 1 pick. I see Caleb Williams being the number 1 pick, even though they already have a quarterback. But give me the Commanders to win that one.
Yeah, Commanders going to win.
Sunday, once again, the Jags back-to-back games in London, but now they're going to be the road team as they take on the Buffalo Bills. But they're going to play at Tottenham this week, not Wembley.
Yeah. I don't think the Jags have ever lost in London or overseas. If I'm not mistaken. Like I said, the Bills are really weird. They'll have a good game last week, and then another game they'll score 3 points. So I'm going to go with an upset. I'm going to pick the Jags over the Bills.
The Jags are 4-4 in London overall.
Okay.
I don't know what the Bills' record is. I know they played better. They got a lot of support, but you can't win them all. And the Bills impressed me winning over the Miami Dolphins. I don't know why. I thought the Miami Dolphins were locked in, beating Buffalo, but I'm going to pick the Bills in this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Jags with the upset.
All right, then we got the Titans at the Colts. Get a little AFC South action.
Yeah, division game, always good. Colts looked good until the Rams came back and won. Titans demolished the Bengals. I don't know if that says more about the Bengals or if the Titans are that good. I'll go Titans.
I'm picking the Colts over the Titans. The Colts have been getting very impressive lately, even though they did lose to the Rams. They've lost a couple of comebacks. Like they were making comebacks, but they would lose short. But I'm going to go with the Colts in this one.
Cool.
Ravens, Steelers, another division matchup here.
Ravens.
Ravens. Okay, I'm picking the Ravens.
I think Kenny Pickett might be out. Kenny Pickett might be out too. So that even gives me more of a solidified Ravens win.
All right. Texans and the Falcons.
Texans all day.
Yeah, I'm absolutely picking Houston to win this one big time. CJ Stroud just getting better and better. Panthers and the Lions.
Lions.
Yeah, this is my lock-in of the week. Lions beat the Panthers easily.
That's your lock-in of the week?
That's my lock-in of the week.
Okay.
The Lions over the Panthers.
Okay.
That one here. Giants and the Dolphins.
This is my lock-in of the week. The Dolphins over the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way in hell the Giants beat the Dolphins. And I think the Dolphins are going to put a 50+.
Yeah, easily. Giants will be lucky if they get a field goal here, but I'm picking Miami's not going to be happy after that loss to the Bills. So they're going to be back, and they're back at home. There's going to be a lot of teal. So, yeah, Dolphins in this one. Bengals and the Cardinals.
I have to take the Cardinals. T. Higgins is out for an extended period of time with I believe, a broken rib or fractured rib. Burrow does not look good. Healthy or not, he looks terrible. And the Cardinals play hard. Josh Dobbs is not bad. They have a good run game. Their defense is solid. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Well, this is my toilet bowl of the week, and I'm giving them one more chance. I know he does not have the best lineman right now, but I'm going to still ride with Joe Burrow, and I'm going to pick the Bengals. If they lose this game, I will possibly not pick them as much the rest of the season. I'm just going to
– Yeah. Can we both agree if they lose this game?
Their season's over.
Their season's over, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You can put them out of the AFC picture big time and replace them with the Dolphins or even throw in the Ravens. All right. Our game, Saints-Patriots. Give me a score prediction here. How's this going to turn out?
Is Derek Carr playing?
Supposedly, yes, he will play.
All right. Whether Jameis or Derek Carr plays, I don't think it matters. I think the Saints win. Like I said, we lost two of our key defensive players. The Patriots are not the same at home as they were. There's no allure. People go in there and beat us now. I'm going to pick the Saints to win. If I pick a score, I don't know, 21-17 probably.
I'm going to say a little more low scoring than that. I'll say the Saints win 15-8.
Yeah, I can see that.
Low scoring. And they both don't have good defenses right now.
I can't believe I have to pick against my team almost every week, but it's just common knowledge at this point.
Yeah. Eagles and the Rams.
Very good. Very interesting game and good game. A lot of people would go Eagles right away. Rams play really good. They got solid wide receivers. I believe Cooper Kupp is back this week 5. Don't know how much he gets to play, but Higbee's good. I'll go with the upset and pick the Rams.
I'm going to pick the Eagles in a close game. Like, I think the Rams hang on.
Eagles got to lose eventually. This might be one of those trap games a little bit where they get caught up in maybe the Rams. They come out and play their best game of the year.
I have them going 5-0 for the moment. I don't have them losing until they either play the Dolphins or the Cowboys.
Okay.
So I actually see them going at least 6-0. If they beat the Dolphins, then I see them going 8-0 till they get to Dallas, and then they can go 8-1. I'm guaranteeing them at least right now 2 losses to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't see them losing to Dallas. I don't see them losing to Dallas. Probably Miami or maybe even Buffalo.
Yeah. Jets and the Broncos.
This is my toilet bone game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Jets and Broncos. Man, it's in Denver, Mile High. I think you got to go Broncos by default. I'm assuming because of where they're playing. If they were playing New York, I would have picked the Jets. But I'm gonna go Dolphins. I mean, not Dolphins. Broncos.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the Jets in a close game. Okay. I think it'll be a little low scored than that. I think the Broncos just got lucky because they played the worst.
The Broncos could score. They just can't stop other teams from scoring.
They have one of the worst defenses, so that's why.
Right, yeah.
Chiefs and the Vikings.
I'm gonna go Chiefs, and I think after this loss, the Viking season's over as well.
I'm going with the Chiefs, but I'm just the only way I can catch this is if I watch NFL Red Zone. But I might try not to watch NFL Red Zone because the last thing I want to see on my TV right now is fucking Taylor Swift again.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't show up to no more fucking games.
I might have to look on my DirecTV guide and see if this is the 325 game on CBS. It could be, but not America's Game of the Week. I don't even know what America's Game of the Week is at 3 o'clock.
The rumor going around is that Taylor Swift has a partnership with the NFL. That's the rumor.
Oh, so they're gonna probably be America's Game of the Week then.
That's the rumor that the reason why she's showing up to all these games now is because might be an alleged partnership she has with them.
So so that you think they paid her to like date a guy like Travis Kelce?
I don't think paid her to I think when they found out they were dating, they kind of was like, oh, now we have an in. So I'm assuming because think about it, all the games that she's attended so far have been the highest rated on that on that channel because all her fans are tuning in just to get a glimpse of her.
The only respect I will give them both with this relationship is that they're not trying to they're not trying to shove it down our throats. The fucking NFL's trying to shove it down our throats, and these goddamn Swifties are trying to shove it down our throats. These two are trying to have a normal private relationship, and that's the only thing I'll respect about them two. It's like they're not trying to gain attention. They're just trying to live a normal life, and then you got motherfucking marks that try to blow shit up and be like, oh my God, they're holding hands walking out of the locker room, or oh, Taylor Swift got a bruise on her knee. She's probably sucking dick. Like all kind of dumb shit. Like they're trying to live a normal life and you're just shoving it down. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm only watching this game to see Patrick Mahomes because I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan. I mean, I like Travis Kelce too, but it's like, I don't really give a shit about anybody else on that team. I don't care about Andy Reid and his Waffle House menu of a play card. Like, I'm just a Mahomes guy. And I do like his wife too, even though everybody hates this goddamn wife. But this is no doubt, hands down, this is gonna be the game of the week. Sunday Night Football, a potential NFC Championship matchup. Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. They're playing at Levi Stadium, though. They're not playing in Dallas. They're playing in the West Coast, so it's gonna be daylight when this game kicks off.
49ers by a lot. Cowboys, they only beat up on bad teams. You see when they play up against a team that's even remotely good and has some talent, they don't really – if they have to rely on Dak, they're not going to win. The 49ers are going to run away. McCaffrey is the MVP so far.
This is what pisses me off. Every time I've did it 3 years in a row. When I had Christian McCaffrey on my fantasy team 3 years in a row, what happens? He gets injured. And I was talking shit like I will never fucking pick him up ever again. And look what the fuck now. I don't have him, and now he wants to score fantasy points.
I actually have him in one of my leagues. He got me 50 points this week.
Lucky son of a bitch. Well, I think it's gonna be close the majority of the game. By the fourth quarter, 49ers will go up by 2 possessions. I'll give the 49ers by 2 touchdowns.
I just think the defense is gonna force Dak turnovers this game. I think he's actually gonna turn the ball over, and the defense is gonna put up points.
Dak will at least have like 2 turnovers and maybe 1 interception. Brock Purdy, I could see Brock Purdy at least 1, but it won't be straight to the linebacker or whatever.
You realize he hasn't lost a regular season game yet, right?
No, it's gonna keep going. That's crazy. Mr. Irrelevant, like maybe the best underrated quarterback of all time. So yeah, Niners by 2 touchdowns. Monday Night Football. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers against Jimmy Garoppolo and the Las Vegas Raiders.
I don't know if Garoppolo playing this week. I know he had a concussion last week.
Probably not. That's why I picked the Packers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers, and the Raiders season's over as well. They'll be in the sweepstakes. The Vikings, either Broncos, Denver, or Bears are all going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes at this point.
Well, I knew that they were not going to let Vegas' team play in Vegas, and then they would really know the NFL was rigged this year, letting a Vegas team in the Super Bowl in Vegas. So, yeah, I knew for a fact the Raiders wasn't even going to have a chance to begin with.
0 chance.
So this one. All right, let's get to college football talk to wrap up this episode. I only have one story I want to bring up, and I brought it up to you. I want to pull up the actual – I screenshotted this from the ESPN app. That the college football playoff shells were in talks of changes while the Pac-12 situation plays out, which, you go back to like right before the season started. The biggest shock came, go back a year before USC and UCLA announced going to the Big Ten. Yep. On my birthday, that was the announcement. Oregon and Washington are jumping shifts to the Big 12. And then about a week later, you got the teams like Colorado and Utah going to the Big 12. And plus Arizona State and Arizona also going to the Big 12.
Right.
You only had 4 teams left. You had Stanford, Cal, Washington State, and Oregon State. Well, now Stanford and Cal, I guess nobody gives a shit about coordinates anymore. They're on the verge of going to the ACC. So you're down to 2 teams. You're down to Oregon State and Washington State. And I've said for a while, why don't you combine with the Mountain West, call it the Pac West, because they have 12 teams. Add the other 2, make it a 14-team league conference. But
it's the only logical way for them to go.
But this is what I'm going to read this. I'm going to try not to rush it. According to Heather Dinch, who is an ESPN senior writer out of Chicago, Illinois, she wrote, the College Football Playoff Management Committee shelved any talk of format changes to the expanded 12-team field that will begin next season, opting instead to continue to wait to see what the future of the gutted Pac-12 will look like. CFP Executive Director Bill Hancock said on Wednesday, following another summer of sweeping conference realignment, only Washington State and Oregon State will be left to determine the future of the Pac-12 in 2024 and beyond. The NCAA gives conferences a 2-year grace period when they no longer meet membership requirements before changes are needed, but the notion of a 2-team league competing in the CFP has its decision makers in a holding pattern on the future format. Hancock, who had spent 5 decades in college athletics, called it the most unthinkable scenario. So I feel like once the Pac-12 is like digged in its grave, then they're going to finally start this 12-team expansion, unless by now they just gun and say, let's gain teams in the Pac-12 or let's just fucking collab with the Mountain West and call it the new Pac, the Pac-West, the Pac-West.
I honestly don't think at this point anything's going to stop the playoff expansion going to 12 teams next year.
I think
they're just gonna gain so much money by doing that.
But something tells me, like, I feel like it's the best decision to let them collab together, because I can see teams like Oregon State and Washington State. You know, they're not big. Like Washington is like huge right now. Washington's a bigger, good program than Washington State. We know Oregon's picture, the freaking fashion show team. Like all these uniform combinations became win a national championship. You put these two teams with teams like Air Force and Boise State, Colorado State, UNLV, New Mexico, San Diego State, Wyoming, Utah State, just to name a few, that would fit them perfect.
Yeah, they better figure out something, because like I said, that 12 team playoff is coming. I think that's on the train, and it ain't stopping.
And you see, that's why they've been paying a lot of attention to the Pac-12 all of a sudden. Now they got competitive teams, like all the ones that are leaving are finally playing right. Look at like USC, for example. Like they are the only one that could be a potential playoff contender now if they can keep winning. But I feel like they would let USC in before Florida State.
Right.
Because it's a Pac-12 team and the Pac-12's in the shadows. But yeah, I agree. I think they're still going to do it.
Yeah, they have to. They're not going to stop that.
No. And man, oh man, well, I know Michigan did good in their game. I don't even want to talk about LSU right now. Michigan won their game. I'm trying to get the score up. They win.
Yeah, I figured Michigan's going to win 45-7. You actually picked the blowout, which I give you kudos. I thought it was going to be a little closer, but 45-7. I said they don't. Michigan is not going to put up 60, 70 points. Their cap is high 30s, mid 40s, and like I said, they haven't got to the meat and potatoes of their schedule yet of playing good teams. They got a cake first couple of games. So by the time I think they even play a good team, they're probably gonna be 7-8-0.
Yeah. Now LSU, okay. Every time they play Ole Miss, it's always gonna be like high scored, or it's gonna definitely like a rivalry. Hang on, I'm trying to type something. But okay, here's the thing they said about LSU's offense. They were ranked, I think, like 9th in the country on offense, which, I mean, that's not bad, but they were like ranked in the top 10 for high-powered offenses, but their defense was ranked 117th.
Mm-hmm.
Like, horrible performance by the defense. They lost 55-49. The still Magnolia Trophy's back in Oxford at the Grove, but Jaden Daniels didn't have a bad game. Like, he had a tremendous game. 4 touchdown passes, 414 passing yards, 27 completed passes out of 36. Logan Diggs had another outstanding game, 101 rushing yards on 19 carries for 2 rushing touchdowns. Brian Thomas led in receiving with 3 touchdown receptions for 124 yards on 8 receptions. But here's the comparison with Ole Miss on offense and defense. For LSU, they had 223 rushing yards, while Ole Miss had 317. And for receiving, LSU led that at 414 receiving yards. Ole Miss at 389.
They gave up 300 plus rushing yards. That's insane.
But their defense also was not as good either. The Ole Miss's defense, they just got lucky with bad calls and us making dumb decisions. And I've said this many, many times. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, giving an offensive lineman the number 7, which he has to wear a patch. Take that shit away from him. Every single game this season, Will Campbell has jumped a false start and caused the penalty and cost us chances to win games or lead the drive even more. Take that fucking shit away from Will Campbell. And I blame
starts are happening all over, even in NFL. It's like really, it's up. Those pennies are on the up and up for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Now, I don't blame Brian Kelly for this loss. Brian Kelly had nothing to do with this loss. I'm blaming this loss on our defensive coordinator. That motherfucker's got to go. That was complete shit of a game. And now everyone's worried about next. We got Missouri next, who are trying to pull us an upset. The last time we went to Columbia, they upsetted us. And they're pretty good at home, too. And they are very confident that they're going to beat us once again. And that's just going to piss us off even more and could potentially get House out of that. But
how long of a leash is Brian Kelly on?
10-year lease.
Okay.
Brian Kelly, now, if they try to get rid of him now, his buyout would be way more than Ed Ogeron.
Okay.
We're stuck with him. Like, I got nothing wrong against Brian Kelly. I like him. I'm not blaming him for that. I'm blaming fucking House for this loss. I'm blaming the defensive coordinator. And I'm blaming Will Campbell for that fucking false start, too. But Malik Neighbors had one, too, but the Will Campbell just every fucking week, he jumps, and it pisses me off. But not our best game, but we have to fucking win this Saturday to prove a point.
Gotta win.
Thank God. Thank God.
Missouri won this week, 5-0.
They're undefeated. They're very confident, but LSU is favorite in that game to give Missouri their first loss of the season. But 11 a.m. kickoff. They're pissed they wanted a night game, and they're saying, oh, LSU's scared to play Missouri at night in the zoo. And I'm like, no, it's because they got two bigger SEC matchups they want to broadcast later, in A&M and Alabama and Georgia and Kentucky, which that's going to be the two. Well, A&M and Alabama's the 2:30 kickoff. Kentucky and Georgia's the night game on ESPN. We're going on right after College Game Day, so it goes off the air. So I got a few college games here we're going to pick. Have we ever done game? We never did game of the week or toilet bowl for college, but I'll do a lock-in instead.
Yeah, I mean, we can do a game of the week from this week. USC and Colorado was really fucking entertaining.
Well,
USC, I didn't think it was going to be that close.
USC had a struggle win. I'll give them that. Yeah, but
yeah,
Colorado
they have struggle wins almost every week now.
Yeah. No, usually the game of the week, I say the game of the week is where College Game Day goes. But yeah, Notre Dame and Duke, that was my game of the week.
That was actually a closer game than I expected it to be. And remember, I did say Kentucky was gonna blow out Florida. I did say that.
Bro, I did not expect Kentucky to win 3 in a row over Florida. I'm surprised Billy Napier's not fired. Well, how has Billy Napier still got a job?
That's insane.
That is insane. I mean, I'm kind of happy for him, but I thought Florida was going to pull it off. I said they let Kentucky beat Florida 3 consecutive years.
They could not stop the run at all.
And I know your boy was happy to see the Gators lose once again.
Oh, yeah. Todd, yeah. I was talking to him today.
I definitely want to bring him back on whenever the Saints and the Jags play that week. Get him on. Like I'm going to try and start bringing guesses on again. But I don't really have a worst game of the week because a lot of the games I'll watch were very entertaining and good to watch. But if I had to pick one bad game that I kind of saw coming, I'm going to probably say Oregon over Stanford, 42-6.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I was going to go maybe Fresno State over Nevada, 27-9. Oregon, 42-6. That's just,
to me, this was my upset here. Purdue beating Illinois, even though they were unranked teams, Purdue has been shit, and then they win this game. Like they needed to win that.
Right.
I'm gonna say that, but I did enjoy. Yeah, of all people, I forgot about Ken John, aka Leslie Chow, was the guest picker for College Game Day.
He was, yeah,
and he was very entertaining.
He's always fun.
He's very funny to watch. I did enjoy that. You know what? Another good game was Georgia and Auburn. That was another good game. Georgia almost struck. Unranked Auburn could have pulled off the biggest upset of the season, beat number 1 Georgia, but Georgia came back and won 27-20. So, and a bigger shock, UCF blew the biggest lead in college football, and Baylor came back and won 36-35.
Dude, Orlando was sick on Saturday. I couldn't believe it.
I bet that city was dead. Even Disney World was depressed, probably.
That was insane. I saw a lot of friends who were at that game, tailgated, and they were putting we're blowing out. So I'm following, and I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, what the heck? I don't know what I was doing. I tuned out because they were winning. I was like, I went to go watch something else, and when I looked, and I'm like, Oh shit, it's tied.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. All right, let's go ahead and make some college picks. I do have I think one or two Thursday night games on here. Let's see, let's get to week 6 right here.
I'm in week 6. Let me see. I see Saturday. I'm on the Saturday games. I'm trying to figure out what the.
They do have some Wednesday games, but I'm not picking any Wednesday games. I have one Thursday game I'm gonna pick, and there's two Friday games. I'm gonna pick both of those, but the only Thursday game I'm gonna pick, Western Kentucky at Louisiana Tech.
I don't know why Thursday games are not coming up on where I'm looking, but I'll go Western Kentucky.
Yeah. Louisiana Tech. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm giving them another chance. If they blow this game, I'm never picking them the rest of the season. But I'm gonna get. They're at home. They're at the Joe Elliott Stadium. I'm gonna give the Bulldogs this one. But if Western Kentucky, who is favorite, pulls this off, then I'm done picking the Bulldogs. Only two Friday night games here. We get a Big 12 and a Big 10 matchup. We got Kansas State at Oklahoma State.
I'm gonna go Kansas State.
Me too. Oklahoma State's just terrible this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened down there in Stillwater. I got K-State. Then the other Friday game, it's a Big 10 matchup. Nebraska at Illinois.
Well, I picked Illinois last week and they didn't fucking do shit. So I'll go. You said Nebraska?
Yeah.
I'll pick Nebraska.
See, Nebraska won the last 3, but I think Illinois pulls this one off. I'm going with Illinois at home. All right.
Big games on Saturday. Wow.
Yeah. We're going to start with my game. LSU and Mizzou kicking off immediately following College Game Day on ESPN. LSU is a heavy favorite. Well, I wouldn't say a heavy favorite. They're -6.5 on the line, but they are a heavy favorite in a matchup predictor. 70% think LSU is going to give Missouri their first loss. But Missouri is very confident that they're going to remain undefeated and beat LSU once again at the Zoo. What you got to say on this one?
I've been picking LSU every week, but I'm going to go Missouri this week.
Okay. I think Missouri will hang in there. Kind of like I think LSU pulls it off at the last minute. I'm going to say about a 2-possession game. So I'm going to say LSU like 28-14.
Okay. Oh, so you think it's going to be low scoring?
I think it's going to be low scoring,
okay.
Yes. Scoring here. College Game Day is heading to the Texas State Fair for one of the top rivalries of all, the Red River rivalry. We get Oklahoma versus Texas. I think it's a top, like at least a top 10 or a top 15 matchup.
Yeah, they're both 5-0. Yeah.
They're both undefeated. Texas number 3, Oklahoma is number 12 in this one, but it's always a great matchup when these two play in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl for the Texas State Fair. It's one of those games where you have to see it to believe it. They usually broadcast it on Fox, but it's kicking off right after game day's over too, but I think it's on Fox. When you look at the Cotton Bowl, it's like one half of the bow is orange and the other half is that like red, that Oklahoma red.
Almost burgundy like.
Burgundy, like split right down the middle, and the field goal post is on both sides. And it's always a fun one to watch. So I have a little bit to say about this, but what you got in the Red River rivalry?
This one's interesting. I can see Texas losing.
Oh, you're going with the upset.
I'm going to go Oklahoma with the upset, yeah.
Well, see, Texas won 4 of the last 10 in the State Fair. But Texas leads the series all time at 63-50-5. Oklahoma has been better than above 500 since the end of World War II in this rivalry. The Sooners won 4 in a row before the 2022 blowout, where Texas blew them out. I'm going to have to go with the Longhorns, but I think it's close. I think they hang in there.
I think it's going to be high scoring, but close.
High scoring, high offensive, competitive. Probably one possession. I'll say about 7. So I'm going with the Longhorns this one. All right, Maryland at Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State won the last 8. Make it 9 in a row. Give me the Buckeyes. Rutgers at Wisconsin.
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 Current by Michigan. So
Wisconsin currently still undefeated at home. I think they still remain unbeaten at Camp Randall. Give me the Badgers. Wisconsin wins at home. This one, Marshall at North Carolina State.
North Carolina State.
So you're going with the Wolfpack.
Yep,
but
going with the Wolfpack.
Marshall has actually been impressing me this season. I mean, they have some like good wins or whatnot, but look at some of the they've beat Virginia Tech. That was like their first big win of the season so far. They are undefeated. They've already beaten one ACC team. I think they can do it again. I'm gonna go with the Thunder and Herd. We are Marshall. Go Herd.
Okay.
Give me Marshall. But they're playing in Raleigh. That's the only bad thing is they're playing on the road. NC State can be tough at home too. So, but I'm taking Marshall in this one. Virginia Tech and Florida State.
Florida State.
Easily, I'm going with Florida State. Okay. This next one, okay, this is the last game. I'm going to feature a team from Louisiana, but I had to put it in here. Texas State at UL, the Raging Cajuns. I don't like to say Louisiana because they're not the flagship university. I still call them UL, even though Louisville is also the other UL. So Texas State at UL Lafayette.
Texas State.
So you're going with the Bobcats?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Raging Cajuns at home.
Okay.
Alabama at Texas A&M.
Whew. Okay. I'm going to take it Texas A&M.
You're going with the Aggies.
Yep. They're playing at home. I'm going with the Aggies. Bama's not Bama anymore.
They're not, but since A&M joined the SEC, what was it like? They beat them at least, twice? Or 3 times? Like, they beat them Johnny Manziel, 2012.
Yeah, they beat them their first year in the SEC.
They beat them their first year. They beat them last year by a field goal. So every time, but they can only beat them in College Station. They've never beat them in Tuscaloosa. But this year it's in College Station, so that's a big question. But look how bad these defenses are. For Alabama, all season long they gave up 61 points, but A&M gave up 78.
Yeah, they're both bad. But I think like I said, I don't think Bama's Bama anymore.
We got the Bump Boys in the house. What's up, Dango?
Yo.
You're doing great. What sports? Well, we already did our NFL picks. I said the game of the week, I was giving the Cowboys and the Niners. I'm looking forward to the Red River rivalry. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to Georgia and Kentucky when we pick them later on. But I'm going to say Alabama in a close one.
Okay.
Like, they're going to have to give it to Alabama. They're not back, but they're slowly trying to make it. Syracuse at North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, so this series is like tied 3-3. This is our first meeting in 3 years. Give me North Carolina easily.
It's crazy that Syracuse and North Carolina are doing real good in football. They're basketball. That's basketball. It's crazy.
All right. Vanderbilt at Florida.
I mean, you would think Florida, right? You would hope.
I'm going to say this here. With what I'm about to say, if Florida don't pull this off, I think Billy Napier's done.
Yeah, they're going to have to get rid of him. But, I mean, who do they bring in? I don't know. You
look back at this I wouldn't even call it a rivalry. This series is so lopsided. Florida dominates this series. Vanderbilt once broke a 22-game win streak against Florida in 2013, 10 years ago. Florida has won the last 8 until last year. Remember, Vanderbilt beat them last year. Vanderbilt is trying to go back-to-back for the first time since 1945.
I got a question. Is Cliff Kingsbury coaching in the NFL, or when he left the Cardinals, he's not coaching anywhere?
I don't think he's coaching anywhere.
I could see him going to Florida. I could see that being – he was a good college coach. I can see potential him going to Florida.
He is currently an assistant coach at USC.
I could see him going to Florida. I could see it.
We could. Well, I'm going to say this. If Florida don't win this, Billy Napier's gone.
Yeah, and I'm not picking Florida ever again.
I'm going to pick Florida. I'm going to pick him. I'm going to pick him in this one. But I said, if they lose this game, Billy Napier's gone. You're going to lose to the worst team in the SEC of all time. All right, UCF at Kansas.
Man. I hope UCF would win after last week. Man, that was bad.
Well, I'm sorry, Orlando, but y'all should have won last week. But Kansas hung in with Texas for a little while. They're back at home, and I'm going to go with Kansas at home. I think they beat UCF.
Okay, I can see that.
So far, it hasn't really been good for some of these new teams coming to the Big 12. Look at Houston and even look at UCF. I think Houston is 0-2 in the Big 12. They lost to TCU. I had them against Texas Tech and they blew it. Like they're 0-2, and I think UCF is winless in the Big 12 also. I think they're winless.
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. They got to recruit better. Now that they're in a Big 5 or Power 5 conference, I think they could recruit, but it's gonna take some time.
But I'm going with Kansas. All right. This one I think a lot of people are gonna have their eyes on. Especially how one team dominated on a shitty SEC team and the other one had a struggle win. Kentucky at Georgia.
Yeah, that could be a game of the week. Obviously, you would go Georgia. But you know what? I'm gonna go upset and pick Kentucky.
You're picking Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to upset and pick Kentucky.
And I don't even think Kentucky's not even ranked. I think Kentucky is not even ranked, if I'm correct. But I will say this. If this game would have been in Lexington, I would have definitely picked Kentucky in this one. But they're playing in Athens. Georgia is very, very tough at home. Actually, Kentucky is number 20, by the way. But if let's say they do pull it off and beat the number 1 seed, how high do they jump? From 20 to what?
If they beat Georgia, you would think they'll go into top 10 at least.
I'm going to say, like, if they were to pull it off, by the way, I'm picking Georgia. Georgia won the last 13. They'll make it 14 in a row. I would say they go from 20 to at least 11.
Yeah, I would say, or maybe even 10.
Maybe 10. Depends who else.
Because guess what? What is Oklahoma ranked? And they're undefeated, right?
Oklahoma's 12.
Oklahoma's 12. So let's say either them or Texas are going to lose, right? So if Texas lose, they drop out of the top 4, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe Oklahoma moves up. I don't know what is the top 10, Marcus, right now for college football.
So the top 5 are the same. 1's Georgia, 2 Michigan, 3 Texas, 4 Ohio State, 5 Florida State.
Yep.
6 is, well, actually the top 7 is still the same. Penn State is 6 and Washington is 7. 8 is Oregon, 9 is USC, and 10 is Notre Dame. Oregon went up 1, USC dropped to 1, and Notre Dame went up 1.
Okay.
The biggest drop was LSU. They dropped from 13 to 23. The biggest let up went to 2 teams, Oregon State and Ole Miss. They both went up 4. That's the highest 2 teams went up this week in the top 25.
Got you. Yeah, so I would agree with you. Top 15. If one of the top 10 teams lose, I can see them going into the top 10.
Well, I got Georgia winning at home. I think they hang in there. Like I could see it being maybe like a tie game or at least a 1-possession game at the half. But by the second half, Georgia kind of wakes up, and I say like a 3-possession game. Georgia can win by 3 touchdowns over Kentucky. Like late fourth quarter dominant with those 2. But Georgia wins at home. They're tough to play at home. Your team, Michigan, on the road at Minnesota.
Yes, Michigan's going to win, 45-10.
Okay, that's a fair score. I could see that. Yes. I got Michigan going undefeated into the playoffs. Like they're going to go 12-0. Win the Big Ten.
Like you said, they still got to play Penn State, and they still have to play Ohio State. They said it's going to be interesting.
I think they can beat Penn State. It's just Ohio State. They're not gonna let Michigan win 3 in a row, but I can see it happening.
Right.
I hope it happens too. Fuck Ohio State. Fuck Ryan Day. Notre Dame at Louisville.
Wow. You know what? I picked Kentucky to beat Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick Louisville to beat Notre Dame.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna.
That's who drops out of the top 10, and Kentucky moves in.
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame in that one. I mean, that would be a kind of a shock. I mean, yeah, it's in Louisville. You got a 10 versus 25 here. Louisville is undefeated. Notre Dame should be undefeated, even though they lost to Ohio State. But
And they didn't look good last week either.
something would tell me this: if Notre Dame would be undefeated right now, you think game day would have went to Louisville over Notre Dame, or they just still went to the Red River rivalry?
No, I think they still go to Texas and Texas Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's like 3 versus 12, and this
Exactly.
is yeah. But Lord knows where Notre Dame would have been at the time. Notre Dame would have probably been like 6 or 7 versus 25. So yeah. Arkansas at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, fuck Ole Miss right now. Fuck their fans throwing shit on the field. But I'm gonna have to go with Hottie Toddy on this one. Arkansas is just shit right now. I'm picking Ole Miss. Here's another big rivalry in Texas that don't get a lot of credibility. I think this one's going to be a fun one. Texas Tech at Baylor.
Baylor with the comeback last week. I'm going to go Baylor.
I'm going with Baylor too.
Yeah.
I got nothing against the Red Raiders. It's just you got Dave Aranda at Baylor as the head coach. I love Aranda. So give me the Baylor Bears at home.
Baylor.
TCU at Iowa State.
TCU.
Easy TCU, even though I don't like Dallas teams, but they're Fort Worth. All right, last pick for the night. Arizona at USC.
USC.
Easily. I think they decimate this team. Yeah, they had a struggle win with Colorado, but I think they blow out Arizona, and
they give up. USC gives up a lot of points. I mean, they don't. It's very weird. Their defense is not that good.
Absolutely not. Well, that will do it for tonight. Now, before we go, I do have a couple things I want to say. We're going back to the routine next week. We're going to go back on Wednesday nights because I do have a big announcement. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks that there's going to be a new launch of SAT Sports. This has kind of been a pre-launch here. You know, I'm kind of making some changes here. I went from talking just Saints, Astros, and LSU to talking all things sports. So how I am somehow always talking sports. That's SAT for you. It's got a new name changing, but as of next week, you will be seeing Freddy and I every single Wednesday night because the SAT Sports is going to have a brand new home. Check this out.
Took off, end zone ahead, touchdown. One step closer to the American dream. Here we go. Let's go. Yahoo!
Yes, we got a brand new home starting next week. We will be a part of the Fanatics Network is SAT Sports, and I cannot be more excited. Big thank you to Tim King, Nick Dieterding, and even my co-host Dylan Abear making it happen. Not just us. Well, Dylan has been a part of SAT for SAT. He's been part of the Fanatics Network for a good while since day one. He got his football show, Dome Field Advantage, on it, but now you got my show, SAT Sports, on it, and the World Elite Podcast is also going to be a part of the Fanatics Network. All starting next week. I think World Elite is going to be moved to Tuesday nights. So I think they are going to premiere on October 10th. SAT Sports premieres on the Fanatics Network 1 week from tomorrow on October the 11th. I'm excited. I may be bringing a guest or two on. I'm waiting to hear back from them, but if not, it'll be just you and I. New logo, new look, new intro, new overlays, new everything. The launch to the Fanatic Network starts next week, and I cannot wait.
Fresh start.
Looking forward to it, and I cannot wait. This was fun. I will see you again next week on the Fanatics Network. Real quick, where can we find you? Let the listeners know.
You can find me on the X or Twitter, the Real Freddy 85. You can Instagram, Freddy MIII. That is the third. And follow me, interact. I'm always on the X or Twitter, always commenting, always talking about sports, wrestling, anything.
I'm on Twitter at MarcusLee337. SAT, you can follow on Twitter at SAT Sports 89. We're potentially on the work of trying to get that back. That way we can get that rolling and everything. But, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch SAT Sports Anytime on demand. Plus, by next week, you can also, if you follow the Fanatics Network on YouTube, you'll be able to catch our live streams on their channel also. So it's going to be fun. A new journey starting next week since I started this show back in May. So I'm excited, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again for coming back on, and we're going to do it again next week. I'll be looking forward to, out of nowhere, like you just randomly send me like news that involves anything with the NFL or college or basketball.
I'm always on it. I'm always trying to send you stuff so we can talk about it.
Yeah, and I'll just look through it. I'm like, oh, yeah, we can definitely talk about that because as of now, when we get to next week, besides just besides predictions and recaps of the NFL and college football next week, I don't really know anything else we could talk about besides
probably baseball. Maybe probably baseball scores. Obviously, if any more NBA trades happen, James Harden might get traded, so we could always talk about that. But basketball is coming up shortly, so that'd be just more for us to talk about and predict some games. Not every NBA game, but obviously maybe top games we could talk about.
I usually like to pick the primetime games.
Primetime games only, and maybe a team that you like or I like, probably a Knicks game or New Orleans Pelicans, whatever.
Yeah, I may not pick every single Pels game, but like if they got a big primetime one or a big division matchup, I usually predict it. I always pick them to win, but I might be honest with them on two. Like if we play like a Golden State team or a Denver Nugget team, we may not win that. Like that's one of those sports where I'm going to tell you the truth, like if we will win this game or not. Last I heard on the Pelicans, Zion Williamson did practice and he looked pretty good, ready to go.
He looks jacked up.
I hope he can last the full season because if he gets injured and is out the rest of the season yet again, I'm getting rid of that fucking jersey.
I don't know if you're off topic. I don't know if you're watching NXT, but I know we talked about at the beginning how Dynamite's going to be on Tuesday next week against NXT.
Yeah.
So NXT just announced that Cody and John Cena both going to be on NXT next week.
I saw Cody. I didn't know John Cena was going to be on it.
John Cena is going to be in the corner of Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker.
Oh, wow. So. All right. Well, all right. This was fun. We're going to go ahead and close out. But the next time you see us, new look, new intro, new overlay, new attitude. It's the same old shit, but on a new network, the Fanatics Network. It's fun being independent for a little bit. I actually started this with Driving to the Top Productions. Then I went independent while I was doing that pre-launch. Now we got a brand new home. Looking forward to it. Thank you again. Thank you for everybody tuning in. We'll see you guys next Wednesday on October the 11th.
Next Wednesday on the new
launch
network
of SAT Sports on the. That's right. Thank you guys.
All right.